Hello, world. You are listening to a very special episode of The Passion Show with Wizard on CFRU 93.3 FM. It's the Do It Together show, all about passions and the people who have them. And I'm out here in the forest at Guelph Outdoor School. I've got a very special group of kids. It's the Herons, the Saturday program. We meet every afternoon on Saturdays. I've been doing this program for a long time. A lot of these kids have been doing it for a long time, and they're all a passionate bunch. And first up, we've got
Oliver.
Oliver, and you're pretty new to this program, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty new.
How long have you been with us?
Haven't been keeping track, like a few weeks, I think, something like that.
Yeah, like about a month, I think.
Yeah, about that.
Nice. And you're a pretty passionate person. Is that right?
I'd say, yeah, I'm pretty passionate.
And that's why you're on first. Now I'm going to hand the microphone to you, and you are going to tell me all about what you're passionate about.
All right. So, I have no plan, so I'm just improvising here. So, the agricultural revolution is the reason why you have soy sauce and noodles and I don't know, food, milk. Okay, yeah. So, the agricultural revolution, it started when people decided that instead of just roaming around the world, they would settle in one permanent area and imprison plants to do their bidding. And so, yeah. What should I say next? Okay.
Why did they do that? Why did people do that? How did they know to do that?
For food. So, like, they would, like, observe that grains grow in certain areas, and so they would settle there, and grains. Yeah, grains.
Why do you care about the agricultural revolution? Like, why are you passionate about that? I mean, it makes sense to be passionate about food because it keeps us alive.
Well, first of all, I think history is kind of awesome, but also it kind of turned the world into a pretty bad place for everything except for humans. But also, in the earlier days, it didn't benefit people at all because we only got one food source. Like, we would only eat grains, which was not good. So, like, a lot of people died, and the human body was not made. We did not evolve to sit around all day and, like, plow fields. So, yeah, it like at the beginning, it was very inefficient or not efficient. I don't know. Yeah, words. So yeah. There were also animals. Animals, yes. People cultivated them. So fun fact. Pig fact actually. So they would like cut chunks out of like the noses of pigs so that they couldn't like smell properly. And yeah. And so they were entirely dependent on humans, and it was greatly painful for them because humans are the worst. Yeah, so that happened. But also another cruel, deceptive um like tactic to get animals to work for humans was they would kill the animal's child, um, eat the flesh, stuff it, and then coat it with the mother's urine to give it a familiar scent. And so, yeah, I guess that wasn't the greatest, but yeah, I guess clearly it worked given here we are. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I love a good pig fact. Do you got any more agricultural facts, or even tell me what's your favorite grain?
Favorite grain, rice, of course. It's just the best grain.
Rice. How do you like your rice?
I'm gonna say cooked, and
That makes sense.
yeah, something like that.
You heard it here first, folks. Oliver likes his rice cooked. And anything else, any other details, maybe we'll never know. You got anything else you want to talk about?
Sure. Okay. So yeah. other agricultural revolution stuff. Well, so they would study the bodies of dead farmers from the beginning of the agricultural revolution, and they discovered that like these bodies were extremely unhealthy, and the backs were more arched, and it was like awful. So, like because people they did not evolve to move around big rocks and bend over planting stuff. So yeah, it was not good.
That makes me wonder how long ago did the agricultural revolution happen?
I don't know. All I know is that it's a long time ago. I did not bother to look into that.
That's all good. That's all good. This is a fly by the seat of your pants type show. But it makes me wonder, however long ago that happened, if we were to look that far into the future, if humanity is still around, which I personally believe it will be still around in the future. I think humanity is going to exist for a long time in a better form than it is today. And I'd like to think that when they find our bodies, they'll think, wow, these guys had it figured out. Maybe not. Maybe they'll say like, oh, how embarrassing that our bodies used to be like that. We're so strong and mighty now. But who knows? Honestly, I don't care. I'll be long gone. I would love to see it, though. If I could live forever, I would. If you could live forever, would you?
No, because life is overwhelmingly suffering, and so yeah, probably not.
You heard it here first, folks. Life is overwhelmingly suffering. Oliver quote of the century. Do you have anything else you want to say to the good people of Guelph?
I don't think so.
All right. Thank you for being on the Passion Show. I've been Wizard.
All right. Okay, I'm just gonna scuttle back into my little hole in the woods, I guess.
Back into that little hole in the woods. And we're back. I've got a new guest. Tell us who you are.
I'm Mateo.
We've got Mateo. Mateo, what are you passionate about? I'm going to hand you the mic. You just speak your piece.
I'm passionate about biology.
Tell me about that.
I don't know. I've just liked it since I was a kid. My grandparents and parents always just got a lot of books for me about it, so I just read over and over multiple times, so I've just got drilled into my head.
The repeat reading is important. There's another episode of The Passion Show all about how important it is to read things multiple times. I love that you do that.
And yeah, I just really love the knowing all this stuff. It just makes me feel like, oh, I'm actually smart for once.
You're always smart. You're always smart. What's your favorite field within biology? Like, what about it do you like?
Well, I know I'm always smart.
Yeah.
Anyways, my favorite field of biology is I've always wanted to be like a scientist who always just explores around places like tropical places, discovering new things. My dad's always been good at animals. I just really love tropical biology.
Tropical biology, that's sweet. What's tell me your favorite tropical creatures or plants. Just tell me about it.
Well, I think that the one I like the most is a jaguar, but
Baby jaguar specifically are pretty great.
Yeah, I used to have a little stuffy named Baby Jaguar.
Oh, I love that.
That's why I love them the most. But I think that there are a lot of creatures that are super cool, there's one called an eye who just sticks its long fingernail into a tree and takes bugs out. I want to learn how the fingernail gets so long, so fast, and also I like the golden dart frog. It's extinct now, but my dad was born in Costa Rica, and they only lived in Costa Rica.
Whoa. I love it. I love when there's animals in this world that only live in small places. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, me too. It's like a just normal poison dart frog. When you touch it, it will poison you. But also, The reason, if you don't know why poison dart frogs are called that, fun fact, natives used to touch them with the tip of their arrow and then shoot their arrow at people for war, and it would kill them since it's poisonous at the tip.
That's crazy. That is powerful. When we say natives, we mean natives of Costa Rica?
Of anywhere really with dart frogs.
So that would be like Southern American or Central American countries, right?
Yep, pretty much.
That is awesome. And isn't it true that that's where we got that technology? What's it called? Like that thing in medicine where you aren't able to feel like your arm anymore when they're doing surgery on it. What's that called?
Anesthetics?
Anesthetics. That's right. Didn't we figure that out from a creature down there?
I never heard of that, but honestly, probably true. The South Americans have lived in the jungle and learned a lot about animals and how to use them for medicine a lot.
That's amazing. I love localized knowledge. And that's what biology is all about, like learning about what is around us.
Yeah, there's just this one section of my biology books that I just really liked, how animals work. I've just always loved how they smell so good. And dogs, their scent goes through their nose, and it just gets so thoroughly checked that they know difference between, like, spoiled by 1 minute meat and normal meat.
That's crazy. I've heard that there are animals who can, like, smell directionally.
Dogs can do that too. If they were blind, they could smell, and the scent would go to their mind, and they would know where they are. There's been tests. I saw a documentary about it one time.
That's crazy. I wish I could smell directionally. I wish I could smell something and immediately know, like, how to get to it. Seems handy.
Yeah, and, like, if you blinded a dog, what's it gonna do? It'll sniff its way around objects so that it won't jump into it.
That is spectacular. I wish I were a dog, an old dog.
Same.
If you could be any tropical animal, what tropical animal would it be?
A tropical animal, I would probably be like a spider monkey.
Yo, what makes a spider monkey different than a regular monkey?
A spider monkey they're really, like, they kind of look like a spider when they're swinging from tree to tree. A lot of monkeys, they do, but they're just like, their tails are, like all monkeys, strong, but it just like, they're kind of different body shape, so it makes them look more like a spider when they're climbing around, and they use their tail a lot.
That's crazy. Mateo, thank you so much for coming on the Passion Show and telling us about spider monkeys and dog noses and all that crazy stuff. Do you have anything else you want to say?
Nope.
You heard it here first, Guelph. Nope. That's what Mateo has to say. We're over and out. Peace.
Peace.
We are back. I have such a fun guest for you all right now. Who, please just introduce yourself to the world. Everyone wants to know, who are you and what are you passionate about?
I am Omi. I've been in the Herons for almost 4 years. I have been the only girl basically the whole time, and I'm going to talk about why for some reason girls tend to not stay.
Yeah, why aren't girls outside? Omi is passionate about girls being in nature.
I feel that often girls are not really allowed to by society. Society tends to kind of hold girls back from going outside. They kind of pressure them to certain ways that they have to be. I feel that often maybe the fact that they're all load of guys there, a lot of girls don't feel like that they can just be with them and be kind of afraid. I also feel that girls don't have the opportunities as a lot of guys to just kind of be outside and have fun. They are often taught to grow up faster without kind of the ability to be a child.
Why do you think that is?
I feel like society is kind of put in certain social norms for generations.
Yes, generations and generations this has been going on for. I agree. I totally agree. And I have a question. How do you think that I and the people who work in the field that I work in, how should we go about fixing that?
I feel that maybe at a young age when girls will tend to be here, kind of show that it is okay for them to go outside, have fun, that they don't have to always take care of other people or kind of just be themselves. They don't have to kind of go inside and do what girls are basically kind of told that they have to do. Like, I feel that also maybe letting girls know, like, just by doing this type of thing is showing that, like, it's okay, you can go outside. Like, people like me who can use their voices, who are outside, and just saying that it's fine, like, you can have fun and be a girl and be outside, and it's okay.
Yes. And you have such a good voice. I'm so happy that you're a person who speaks and gets heard.
Thank you.
Just like right now on the radio.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's a compliment. I don't know. Yes, Omi. Is there anything else you have to say about the topic, about society and culture and why these things happen, what we should do?
I feel that maybe kind of putting out the fact that, like, girls can have a voice and go outside, and also maybe kind of advertising at a young age of going outside and that being okay, and maybe also finding ways around society's norms, like maybe not always just finding ways to girls not to always be online, always be stuck behind the screen, always having to take care of others, being able to let girls have freedom to speak their words, speak their minds, and kind of have fun as well.
Do you feel like you get that sort of environment here?
Yes, I really feel like I kind of have that ability to be able to just be myself. Also kind of like being able to hold my own. Kind of fun to watch the guys sometimes not know what to say when they forget, oh, you are a girl and you are here. But, like, it's kind of being fun to, you know, surrounded by them and just kind of feeling like I was surrounded by a whole bunch of brothers. And it's great. It's fine.
I really love it when you put those guys in their place. And when they get, because they do get big, confused, and, like, thrown off sometimes. But they're a good group.
Yeah. I really think it's kind of funny sometimes. It's funny to just watch them, their confusion, and also just kind of being able to, like, put them in their place, because I don't know, sometimes it kind of feels good to, like, even as the smaller person, kind of, if you think about it, I like to kind of be able to just, you know, kind of put them, because they have a lot of power, they have a lot of different things, like being the only person of color in our group and being the only girl, kind of being able to put that out there that, like, yeah, I am different, but I can also show you that you guys don't always, even though you have the privilege, you don't always have the privilege. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so right. Oh, that makes me so happy. You all have taught a lot each other. You've taught how am I trying to say that? You've taught each other a lot. There we go. And you've all learned a lot from each other, and you have been in this thing since the beginning. You and I have been in this thing both since the very first day, and a few of them have too. And it's been amazing for me to watch you all grow up together.
Yeah, it's kind of been awesome to have, like, it's kind of like we've had, like, a little bits of our childhood all together. We've fully grown up since, like, I came here when I was, like, I think 11, and they were all 12, and yeah, like, I was younger than all of them, but now we have some that are younger, and it's kind of funny to just see, like, oh, I was you at one point, and it's kind of nice to see that.
I agree, and I really hope that we can give this experience to more young girls and get them out here in the forest, not with the impression that they have to take care of anything.
I like that too. I kind of be able for them to come out here and have some fun and be outdoors and not just be stuck inside. I feel like that will be a really good opportunity if girls can come out. And also, it would be kind of nice to maybe one day, just one, because they tend to only stay for 2 weeks. I feel like this, so like they kind of get intimidated. I feel like, or they realize, oh, like they'll sign up, but then they're like, oh, there's only one girl, then they'll only stay for 1 week and then they'll leave. Yeah.
One day we must focus. If we keep our eyes trained on that North Star, one day we will be in the shining paradise. Omi, do you have anything else you want to say to the good people of Guelph, Ontario?
No, I think I've said what I want to say.
Omi has said what she wants to say, and I loved hearing it. I'm sure all the people at home did too. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Over and out. We are back. It's the Passion Show. I'm still Wizard, and I've got a new friend in here with me. Please, introduce yourself to the world.
I'm Josh.
Josh, I'm so happy to have you on here. Josh, please tell me, what are you passionate about?
Find bugs interesting, particularly ants.
Ants. And I understand, Josh, you're someone who knows how to speak, how to pontificate, how to stand on top of the lectern, the podium, and lecture the world. So I'm just going to hand you this microphone, and I want you to just talk and tell me everything you know about ants. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Then here you go. Here's the mic. Take it away.
Ants first start off as eggs before developing into pupa, where they will be in brood piles, where, fun fact, the worker ants will actually dig through to specifically feed the hungry ones. They release a pheromone to notify the worker ants to dig through all of the brood to find the one hungry ant, the one hungry pupa. And then, I don't know how this happens, but some pupa will become alates, which are... Well, male alates are formed when a queen ant doesn't fertilize her eggs, which she can actually do. If a queen ant doesn't fertilize her eggs, it'll become a male ant, which are called alates, which just lounge around and eat food. And for the female alates, I don't know how they get formed, but they also lounge around and eat food until the nuptial flight, where all the male and female alates will fly up into the sky and mate with each other, and I think the males might get... Either they just die, or they die because their organs get ripped out from their penis. And then the female will go down onto the ground, shed her wings, and dig a hole to start having eggs. And if she had a successful nuptial flight, aka mated with another ant, she will start laying fertilized eggs to become worker ants. If she didn't, then she will lay non-fertilized eggs or just die. And she will feed the ant pupa her liquidated wing muscles till they become old enough to be worker ants. And there's a word for the first brood of worker ants, but I forget what it's called. I forget what it is. But
It's called something.
It's called something. But what happens is the worker ants will go outside and be very timid and shy of everything and afraid of everything because they're so valuable because of how little of them there are. And then they will go out and scavenge for food, which is the start of an ant colony. And then when they start to get more numbers, they'll become more bold till they just start stealing from everybody and will full-on attack animals. And then the cycle gets repeated over and over and over again, and that's how ants work.
That's amazing. I never knew how ants work. The only thing I know about ants comes from a movie that came out called A Bug's Life. And there's another movie that's called Ants with a Z, but I never watched one because it looks scary. Josh wants to say one more thing, and I love that, and I'm going to give him the microphone again.
Now it's time to talk about termites. Termites are very similar to ants, except they're timid their entire lives. And in fact, there are king termites, which will continue breeding with the queen because she does not have the same organ that preserves the sperm from the king ant, as it were. So, yes. Also, a termite queen will have much more termites than kids than an ant queen will have ants. And termites actually... I think a lot of termites live in wood, and they'll just eat the wood to build their termite nests, and they'll just keep going and make it out of their poop. And some termites and some ants actually farm food from a fungus that like might not happen in Canada, but there are places in the world where ants will eat a fungus eat wood and build a fungus growing structure. Because, like, don't ask me how, but they have, like, microbes in their digestive tract to make it so the wood is really good for growing fungus. And they'll, like, collect... The fungus will have matured, and they'll collect some wood that has some fungus spores on it, and somehow it won't die in their digestive tract. And they'll be able to grow fungus on their digested wood, and that's how termites get it, but I'm not entirely sure on ants. Oh no, ants do it, instead of wood, they do it with leaves. They chop up leaves and feed it to the fungus.
That is absolutely stinking incredible. I love that. Josh?
Yeah, ants also know how to farm cattle, aka aphids, who are little insects who are really interesting, who suck sap from plants to reproduce, and they actually reproduce asexually, which means they don't have a gender, so when they're born pregnant, and they essentially clone themselves. And what an ant colony will do is, because they drink a lot of sap, their poop, as it was, is really sugary, and the ants like sugar, so they'll protect the aphids, and in turn they'll drink the aphids' digested sap.
That's amazing. I actually have an outdoor school game based on that called Ant Farm Apocalypse. Isn't that great?
Yes, that sounds amazing.
We should play it sometime.
Yes.
Josh, thank you so much for being on the show. That was absolutely incredible. Do you have any final words?
Bugs are cool, and don't kill spiders.
Bugs are cool, and don't kill spiders. You heard it here first, folks. That's Josh and Wizard signing out. Welcome back to the Passion Show with Wizard. I've got another guest in here. Why don't you tell the world your name?
My name is Reese.
It's Reese. Reese, what are you passionate about?
I don't know, I like books and like sci-fi and stuff like that.
Books, sci-fi, and stuff like that. You want to know something funny, Reese?
What?
I like books, sci-fi, and stuff like that too.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you some questions. My first question is, what is your favorite sci-fi book?
I like Maze Runner, and yeah.
Maze Runner. I've heard of that. Isn't that a series?
Yeah, I mostly read series. I find them a bit more entertaining because I can read them for a longer time. But I feel like it's more worth money. It's more worth my money's worth.
Your money and probably worth your time too, right?
Yeah.
You value the entertainment of books.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of Maze Runner? Like, why? What about its story do you connect with?
I don't know, I enjoy like the mystery and like not really being like fully aware of what's going on, but still kind of having an idea.
The mystery. I love that. Being led down the path. I love mystery stuff.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. Can I tell you my favorite sci-fi book?
Sure.
My favorite sci-fi book is Dune. I'm a big Dune fan. I love Paul Atreides, Muad'Dib. I love, Baron Harkonnen and the spice and all of that cool Dune stuff. Kwisatz Haderach, Shai Hulud, and all my friends from Dune. Have you ever read Dune?
No, but I've heard of it. Like, I'm pretty sure there was like a second movie one, or
Dune Part 2, that's right, that just came out a few months ago.
yeah, I saw like commercials for it and stuff.
It ruled. It was a cinematic experience. Timothée Chalamet knocked it out of the park, and Austin Butler with maybe the performance of the year. Could be a lot of great performances in that movie. But you're not a Dune head, so we'll move on. I'm going to ask you another question. What is your favorite fantasy book? So not sci-fi, fantasy.
Probably like Harry Potter, like Percy Jackson, like yeah, like everyone. I'm pretty sure everyone knows about like Harry Potter and stuff. Is quite famous book series. I don't know if anyone knows about Percy Jackson and stuff. So like, a kid is the son of a Greek god, and there is multiple like there's other kids like him, and they all like live in like a camp, and they're hunted down by monsters and have to like save the world and stuff.
Reese, can I tell you something crazy? Do I have permission to tell you a crazy thing?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. I was reading Percy Jackson back when they were just coming out. I believe in 2009, which I think may or may not be before you were born. Is that true?
Yeah, so before.
When you were just an idea, a hope, a glimpse, a twinkle in the eye of a lucky parent. Me pouring through those pages, learning all about Percy Jackson and his friends Grover and Annabeth, and how they're trying to fight with Zeus or whatever. Or no, they're not fighting with Zeus. They're trying to get his lightning bolt back, right?
Yeah, in the first book, yeah.
And then of course they're in the Sea of Monsters, and then they have some more adventures, and then they have a big battle in New York, right?
Yeah.
And Grover finally meets Pan in the end, and that's a triumphant moment.
Yeah, because like all of the satires and stuff, which are people, like creatures with like goat legs. Why I don't know. I don't understand it, but it's interesting. And yeah, they all look for him because he's the god of nature or like animals and stuff.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing your passion with me and the good listeners at home, probably driving in their cars right now. I have one last request for you. Something I really like doing on the radio is doing things that only I can see and the listeners can only hear about and get jealous about. So I'm going to ask you, can you do the funny glasses thing? He's doing a really funny thing with his glasses right now. He's holding them out so his eyes look ginormous. I wish you guys could see this. Oh, he's looking around. Oh, he's blinking. Oh, that's really funny. Yeah, y'all will just have to cross your fingers to meet. He's still doing it. To one day run into Reese in the streets. And maybe you'll get to see something really funny. Reese, thank you so much for being on the Passion Show. Do you have any closing remarks?
No, really, maybe it's like just kind of like try to have fun and be out in nature and stuff.
Try to have fun and be out in nature and stuff. You heard it here first, dear listeners. Reese, thank you so much. We're over. We're out. We are back on the Passion Show. I've got a guest who is very excited to be here, and I'm excited for you all to hear him because he's a passionate young man. I've known this guy for 4 years. He's been passionate since the second Saturday. I knew him the first Saturday, didn't say much, but pretty much since the second Saturday, he's been a passionate young man. Please introduce yourself.
I am Nigel Hackerite.
We've got Nigel Hackerite, the first last name drop on the show, folks. He's broken a big Herons barrier. and just, I'm going to hand you this microphone. I've got a splinter. I'm going to try and pull it out, but I'm going to hand you the microphone. And I hope that you just tell our dear listeners everything about what you're passionate about. Just go crazy. It's in your hands, young Buster, and I know that you will do well. Here you are.
Thank you, Wizard. I am passionate about games, more specifically tabletop games. I recently made a short one-pager front and back game called Escape the Aquarium, where you play as a group of little fish or a crab. and your goal is to escape the aquarium that the cruel humans have trapped you in. It is one pager. I've not put it out online yet. I do plan to do that at some point in the future. After I finish it and polish it up a little more.
What makes your game interesting? Like, how does it work?
The core mechanics rely on a dice pool of 6-sided die. Each fish has 4 stats. They are scales, flash, fin, and jaw. Scales is mainly for like how you're doing like physically. Flash is for looking good. Fin is for going fast, and jaw is for biting or attacking. When creating a character, you start with 2 in every single stat, and then your fish type will change the stats around.
He's pulling something out of his backpack, everyone. He's going to read for us. This is amazing.
When you create your when you choose your fish type, you roll like a 6-sided die, and then you go from the side of the die. 1 is a little shark, crab, or 2 is crab, 3 is goldfish, 4 is pufferfish, 5 is little speedster, and 6 is archerfish. Little sharks get some extra teeth. Crabs have some claws. Goldfish, they can breathe in air for a long time. Pufferfish, well, when you're attacked, you deal damage. And little speedsters move extra fast. And archerfish have a beam attack.
So how do I win? How do I win the game?
Well, because it is a tabletop RPG, you don't win. You just make it to the success goal of escaping the aquarium.
So I win by having fun.
Exactly.
Why do you care about this stuff, Nigel? What about it attracts you?
I was introduced to tabletop RPGs from my uncle, who introduced me to Dungeons and Dragons. And I've been playing them for the past 5 or 6 years. And I've gotten to really care about them because it helps me express myself and have fun.
I love the idea of self-expression through games. There's so much a game can do. A game can teach you about yourself. It can teach others about you. It can teach you about the world. Games and play are just such an incredible space. I like to think that this show is a bit of a play space.
Exactly. It also helps you imagine different things and awaken a sense of wonder. And when you finally understand the game you're playing, you just get like a light in your eyes, and it's just so much fun.
There's a lot of empathy in gaming, isn't there? Yeah, you have to open your heart, open your experience, because when you game, you have to imagine, don't you?
Exactly, yes. Yeah, it's a lot different from tabletop games or from board games. And it's often really cheap, but also can be kind of expensive depending on how far you're willing to go.
Well, I love Dungeons and Dragons. I love tabletop games. I love play. I love all that stuff. Thank you so much for being passionate about it and giving me an excuse to think about games. Thank you for being open to being on the show, Nigel. Thank you so much. Do you have any closing remarks?
Thank you for having me on the Passion Show, Wizard. It's been great. I've been listening to the Passion Show for a little bit. It's great. It's a great place.
It's a great place. You heard it here first, folks. Welcome to the tapestry of the show. Your name is forever etched in the lore books of Passion. Thank you so much. That's Wizard and Nigel. Over and out. Folks, we're back for the final segment of this very special episode of the Passion Show with Wizard on CFRU 93.3 FM. They do it together, radio show about passions and the people who have them. I've got a very passionate individual here. I'm going to hand this microphone over, and we're going to hear about one final passion. Who are you, and what are you passionate about?
My name is Finn, and I'm really interested in microbiology and learning about how cells work and communicate with each other and stuff like that.
Intriguing. Well, how do they work? How do they communicate with each other? I know nothing about this. Finn is indicating to me that that's a big question, which I suppose it probably is. So just start anywhere.
Well, I've done a lot of looking into recently neurons and some of the really interesting ways that they send fast signals, because lots of cells send signals. They release a chemical and the chemical is picked up by another cell, but that's pretty slow because the chemical's got to travel over all the way. But neurons, what they do is they have a charge inside and outside the cell, which is ions. There are positive ions and negative ions on different concentrations on both sides of the cell membrane. And there are two kinds of positive ions. And one kind, there's a lot outside, one kind, there's a lot inside. And because of the force of diffusion, both kinds want to be equal on both sides of the membrane. So you have a balance of the force that wants all the positives to stay on the sides they are to keep the negatives in balance, and the force that wants the positives to spread across to both sides. But the reason that it stays with this force and they don't just equal out is because one of them can't move across, but one of them can, because there are certain holes in the membrane that only one kind of ion can get through. So what it does is it keeps all this energy across the membrane, and then it'll open a channel for the one that can't get through. So then that one, because there's so much force built up, it'll all go through all of a sudden, and the one that can move through already will move back across. And then this signals these holes for the one that has trouble moving through normally to open up and move through. So this will just keep traveling down the membrane at very fast speeds all the way down a neuron.
Whoa. Whoa is what I got to say to that. I've never really thought to think about. I've heard about neurons. I feel like neurons are a thing that people talk about. You know, our body, it's got neurons in it. That's how electronic signals go around our body. But I've never really bothered to think, what are the actual physical mechanisms of that? I wonder how it is that those ions get there. Do you know?
Well, those ions, we call them electrolytes. So they're a nutrient we have to eat. And that's how they get there. And they hang around. Occasionally we lose them. So we do have to eat them.
That's mind-blowing. They're electrolytes, and everyone talks about electrolytes, and people always tell me I need to get electrolytes and like get salt or whatever in me and drink lots of water and stuff, and that's why. This is how my entire body works. That's crazy. All right, do you got anything else for us? I feel like we've well plumbed the neuron space. What else you got?
Well, the first thing I looked into was genetics, because it seemed really interesting to me at the start. I've always liked doing logic puzzles, and genetics seems like one big logic puzzle. So I was looking into it, and I found it really interesting the way genes, they're on the DNA, and you've got two strands of DNA which are paired together, and you've got two of these two sets, which is each one is the double helix, is the two strands paired together, and they are wound around like a helix. And then when the cell divides, each pair of strands gets split apart and duplicated. And then it gets each of the two new duplicates, you get a copy going to the two new cells. And this is how you get normal cells. So just like normal cells dividing. But when it's genetics, you get, instead of all of these two, you just get two of them. 2 copies of double-stranded helixes, you get 4 single strands that each get their own little cell, which are sperm or eggs. And then each of those has a bunch of genes, and then the genes will travel on to children, and those children will have the same genes, but I've lost myself for this one.
We've lost ourselves to that one. And the genes like change, right? Or how does that work?
Okay, getting back on topic to what I meant to say at the start there. Genes, we each have 2 gene copies. 2 genes of each, 2 copies of each gene. And when you have children, the children will get one of those copies. But certain genes are associated with other genes because they're on the same strand. And you can measure how close together they are on the strands by how often sometimes the strands, they get switched around sometimes, so they get broken. So normally, they'll stay together. But sometimes, there's just a little switch in between and they'll start moving around. The different versions of each gene. And that's one really interesting thing I found was that's how they used to measure, that's how they used to map out the human genome. They took all these measurements of how often genes would move together, and then they'd get a index. I can't remember the units they used, but there's a unit that is exactly how many times you get these switches in between a gene every time a new generation.
That's a mind blower. I love that because that is like a real logic puzzle. They're like taking little chunks of DNA types that are often together, and they're like combining them with other. Man, I can't even put words on that. That's just really neat. That whole world is just a confusing and crazy world to me. Do you think you're gonna wind up as like a genetic scientist or something?
Well, I started being really interested in genetics, but since then I've looked into a lot of all sorts of things. And recently, the most recent one I've been looking at was neurons. And I think the neurons are really, really interesting, even more interesting than genetics. So I think that might be what I want to work in. But who knows? Maybe I'll find something even more interesting later on.
That's the spirit. That's the spirit. You never know what's going to happen. Even I don't know where I'm going to end up in my life. You know, I'm going to be a pilot. That's what I want to do. But yeah, who knows? Thank you so much for being on the show. Every passion show's got to end with a little bit of gratitude. So please tell the people at home what you are grateful for.
I am really grateful. You know, looking at biology, you really realize everything that has made humans possible is all a big coincidence, really. All the coincidences that just somehow happen to work together in the right way to make life, and then make intelligent life, and a conscious being. And I'm grateful that was able to happen.
I too am grateful for life and conscious beings. I am grateful for this group of students. I am blessed to have the Herons, for you and Reese and Omi and Josh and Nigel and Tom and Mateo and Oliver and gosh, I hope that's all of them. Did I miss anyone? Omi. I said Omi. Is that everyone? And of course, Nava. Nava, if you're listening, we miss you. And Mac. Grateful for Mac and Mickey and Maya and Chicho, of course. And I think that's everyone. And all the past Herons and all the future Herons. I'm grateful for the Herons. The Passion Show loves the Herons. It's official. Finn, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you, dear listeners, for listening. Wizard and the Herons. We'll see you next time. And we're back. Wow, what a lot of fun that was. But wait, there's still time. It's a good thing I got my good friend and co-lead of the Herons program, Nava. Nava, we've got a few minutes to chat. right here on CFRU 93.3 FM.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to ask you, what are you passionate about?
Well, today I'm feeling passionate about the herons.
The herons. That's so convenient. If you're ever on the show again, you're allowed to be passionate about something different.
No, this is the only thing I have going
Right now,
for me.
we're recording. Can you tell the people where we're recording?
We're in Wizard's Car, Wichita,
Wichita,
after,
yeah.
right after an excellent heron
Another
session.
fun day of herons.
Mm-hmm.
And can you tell everyone who that is, who you see?
And I see Flopsy sitting on the dash right now.
Flopsy Bear, who is now not Flopsy Bear, Flopsy Bunny, a recurring guest on this show.
Oh.
Yeah, because Flopsy Bunny was actually on the previous episode with Claire Shebad.
Which, of course,
Clairvoy
I
Shebad.
heard.
Exactly.
Yes, Clairvoy Shebad.
Clairvoy Shebad.
Clairvoy Shebad and Flopsy the
And
Bunny.
Flopsy the Bunny. So why don't you tell us a little bit about herons? Why do you like herons? Why is that what you're passionate about?
Well, what an excellent opportunity to connect two groups that I think rightfully have been kept apart,
Yeah?
which is young adults and teenagers. But
Mm-hmm.
you add a safe and constructive space to kind of shape some young minds.
Mm-hmm.
In a,
Wait, are you calling us young adults?
yeah, are we not young adults? Well, you're
I think-
kind of old.
I suppose people in their 20s is a young adult.
Yeah.
And I am still very much in my 20s. Thank you very much. For all the good listeners at home, Wizard is 27 years old,
Mm-hmm.
which is like an old bones
Yeah.
now these days, apparently.
Yeah. Just
No,
really
I'm a
cool.
young man. I love, but I don't know. It's an awkward age. But you're right. There is a sort of disconnect in society between like teenagers and 20-somethings.
Mhm.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I think there's some like rightful keeping it apart because there's like just different things that are appropriate and inappropriate to
Very
share
true.
with teenagers
Uh-huh.
as a young adult. But also I think like all age groups are kind of like purposefully separated.
No, I agree. I think this has come up on the show before.
Oh, really?
And
This is
about how
another
much
thing I
it sort of
love.
ticks me off that
Mhm.
that generations are separated
Mhm.
and that the only older people kids tend to know are their parents and their like school teachers.
Mhm.
The idea of mentorship has
Mm-hmm.
taken a real backseat these days. And you mentor every day we go to Herons. What do you say in the morning? You say, you know the thing. No, I was making a face at me like, "What are you talking about, Wizard?" But in truth, you almost every time we do this, you're like, "I'm going to mold some lives today."
Today I'm gonna mold some minds.
Mold
and
some minds.
change lives.
Molding
and mold
minds and changing lives. But it's like,
is
and that's a
true.
little bit sarcastic, but it's also true.
Yeah.
We love the tell everyone just like your favorite like herons things.
My favorite hair.
Just like surface level, just like fun stuff we do, or like however you want to interpret that question.
Just nonstop inside jokes and camaraderie.
Yeah, the inside jokes are crazy.
Yeah, the inside jokes, like, it's hard to come in late, and then it's easy to come in late because you're like, wow, these jokes just keep getting added every single day.
Yeah, we're constantly coming up with
Yeah.
new stuff. Maybe we should share. No, we shouldn't. We shouldn't tell my listeners any of the herons inside
No,
jokes.
they'll simply have to join Herons.
They'll have to join herons if they're lucky enough to be between the ages of 12 and 16.
Yeah, if they're those lucky
Those lucky ducks. But needless to say, there are lots of silly little running jokes.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you like about? Why are you passionate about this? Why do you show up to this every Saturday?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I know it's a big question.
Let me think. Let me ponder.
No, okay.
Okay.
It's a big question.
It is a big question. I mean, I love it. I talk about it constantly
Yeah.
about why I love it to everyone. And I think people also ask me like, oh, what do you do? Like, what do you teach? Like, what are you going to go, like, share? Because they're like, oh, you must be teaching plant ID.
Yeah, people
Or,
really
like,
assume it's about that kind of thing.
when it's honestly, like, especially as a Saturday program, it's about, like, going and hanging out and I don't know. It's just like a really healthy and like beautiful space to joke around and like
Be social and positive.
Be social and yeah.
The lessons that get taught are just like random little like asides. It's like a social thing.
Mm-hmm.
And every now and then, like today, we're making fires.
Yeah.
So there is wilderness skills that get taught.
But it's natural.
But it's not. It just comes on. It just happens to be a thing that we do. The main exactly is we're cold because Wizard gets cold. Brr. And but that's all just a wrapper for the real juice.
The real juice, which is teaching kids how to be normal.
Be normal
in their weird and beautiful ways.
Being away from their computers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Be with other human beings.
Yeah. Touch grass, but like for real.
Yeah, for real touch grass and like burn grass.
Yeah.
And interact with grass, not just touch
questions
it.
about why grass burn.
Why grass burn? Grasses and forbs, what they?
What they be?
What they be? Why they grow?
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Thanks.
Okay. Now, I think we have like another minute.
Excellent.
So I always like to end the Passion Show by asking my guests, what are you grateful for?
Oh.
So I like to go first because I want you to end, to put a cap on things. This is about you. This isn't about me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just say I am grateful for grasses and forbs.
Beautiful.
I'm grateful for Flopsy Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful for Wichita, my beautiful vehicle that gets me from point A to point B. And I'm grateful to be alive.
Beautiful.
Nava, what are you grateful for?
Well, I'm going to piggyback right now.
Oh.
I'm grateful for Jody, my beautiful vehicle.
The Passion Show endorses vehicles.
We're into big car. And I'm grateful to work with young people who teach me a lot. And to hear what, insights from a younger generation.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on the Passion Show.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's an honor and a privilege. Folks, you've been listening to the Passion Show with Wizard on CFRU 93.3 FM. Thank you so much for tuning in. I've been Wizard.
This has been Nava.
Signing out.